Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Object 261. It's the Tier 10 Soviet SPG. This one's located on the eastbourne of Sand River and it's under the command of Oksydor. Now this is the first video of the Christmas season, yes, so that's why it's got the special intro. And it's a 3 replay video, so you'll get to see something which is quite interesting. Okay, well we're starting this game in a tier 10 and tier 9 game. So there's tier 10 tanks and tier 9. But one of the games is actually going to have tier 10 and tier 8 tanks in it. And you'll see a big difference in the amount of XP you actually get. Hey. He's now ready to shoot. 3 marks on the barrel. And he's done exactly what I would do, is just go to the ramp. This ramp here on the river, on the valley, is a very good spot where a lot of tanks will pop up here just to get a good eye on where the enemy are. They can spot quite a few from here. And of course it does allow them to retreat. However, there are some other places on the map where you can pre-aim to get shots on the enemy, and one of them is right up in the, and they've already appeared, yes, right up in the southwest corner of the map. I was about to say there's another spot over there which tanks tend to head for. First shot doesn't really give him much. Okay, he's got 2 tanks, 3 tanks together now. That could be interesting, because he'll probably be stunning more than 1 tank at the same time. He's got the 18cm howitzer, 800 alpha, 45 mils of pen, and he's got his first impact, a 226 hit point hit on the 705, and he's changing position to avoid counter battery. Oh, 4 tanks have turned up now, including a mouse. Well, that should make life fun, because mice are very, or mice? Well, mice, yes, I suppose, are big tanks, so very easy to hit, and he got a direct hit on the side of that one with 248, and he's picking up stun assist already. Just the other day, Baseman from Hell was asking if some of the top players on our page were actually going to practice in any other Arty, because of course they were setting a very high standard. Oh, the mouse is gone! He got a hit for 294 and then stun assist immediately afterwards. Yes, I think they're actually setting a very, very high standard for certain artillery in the game. The Object 261 and the T92 HMC have now been made very, very difficult to get good results, because the players who are playing them all the time are real experts. That one fell short, but the target did pull back just after he fired, so understandable that that one just landed in front of him. As you know, the Object 261, designed based on the hull of an IS-7, so basically it's a heavy tank in disguise. It is a heavy tank in terms of 62.2 tons. Oh, when he fired that on and moved straight away to avoid counter battery. There's only 2 Arty on either side in this game, but the enemy team appears to have just have a look at that. They've actually got a 261 as well as a GWE 100. Okay, he's firing up onto the hill just in case there's somebody there. Oh, and he hit someone! And it could be that he hit the Foch 155 or the Charge 4, and they've suddenly appeared. One of them's missing hit points. And it happens to be the Emil 2 that took... Oh no, the Foch is missing some as well. But they're not showing any stun. Now, he might take that Charge 4 out of the game, but oh no, one of our teammates got him instead. And he got a splash on the Emil 2. Lots of stun there as well. I think he stunned the Bosch at the same time because the shell arrived at the same spot. But what he's got to look now is that the enemy is actually pushing through to the north. So he's going to have to move. If he doesn't move soon, he could be in danger because we've only got a few tanks between us and the enemy. Or one tank, actually. He spotted it. And he's suddenly changing his angle to attack these ones. He's going for the Leopard. Almost pretty dialed in. Flies a snapshot. 257, and then he's going to bug out of here quick.
Stop your advance.
And he's telling the his fellow Arty to get out of there as well. Because if they don't move, they could be in trouble. He couldn't go around the GWE, so he actually changed position, went over the ridgeline into the dip, and now he's positioning himself ready to fire a shot at the Udis. Rounds out. That was a good hit. Useful. 282, but he needs to move. Can't stay here. If those tanks make a dash to the south, and we've got some of our guys coming back, but if those tanks do come over that ridgeline, the GWE is going to feel it. And he's not moving yet because the GWE is going to get an Arty round from the other end of the map. Okay, Oksydor's decided to focus on the guys up the other end because he's got an M46. He fires a snapshot in on the M46, but unfortunately it didn't work. Was that him? No, it wasn't him actually who fired there. I thought that was him firing. I was wrong. Now he's loaded. Is he going to go for the M46? He could take him out. He doesn't need to because he has gone. Now, go for the Bosch. Rounds out. He's trying to get a splash. And he did. 322. That's a good hit for splash. And the threat against him from the tanks that were close by have gone. So he doesn't need to worry about them anymore. And he could just focus on the battle at this end of the map. That meal looks like a tasty snack. Got a planter round in there. Rounds out. Oh, just got some splash. The Emil managed to dodge it by moving fast. He correctly worked out if he moved around that corner, he would be okay. But the enemy Arty's now coming to sight and been wiped out already. Now he's going for the CC1 Mark II. Almost loaded. There's one of the enemy Arty, the 261. He's dead. Rounds out the CC1. And he got 283 from that one. The Cobra is unleashing his magazine at the moment. Remember, he's got a 120mm gun. And after he's fired his 4 shots, he needs to get into cover quick because he doesn't have... He has a very long reload time for his autoloader. And I think he's... yes, this CC Mark 1's the last one alive. And the shell arrives just a fraction of a second too late to get any damage. And the game is over. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a first-class tanker for Oksydor in the Object 261. He managed to get a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he managed to get 9. And he also got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. But his win rate wasn't as high as usual. It's only Unicum standard, 2,454. To Super Unicum, you'd need at least, say, around about the 3,000 mark or high 2.8, something of that nature. But this was one of the first games of the evening. You can see here it took place just before 11 o'clock in the evening on the 23rd of November. So let's have a look at the team score. Well, he actually did get a fair amount of damage on the enemy, but he didn't get the highest. That went to the Leopard 1 we saw right at the end of the game. The guy got stunned by Oksydor's shell. Yes, he got 4,390 hit points, the Leopard. The second highest damage actually went to the Foch 155 on the enemy team with 3,475, and the third highest was the AE Phase 1 with 3,445. We can see that Oksydor managed 3,171, so he was in the highest group of damage scored. And in fact, actually, there was only 1 on the enemy team who's above him and 2 on his own team, which means he's in 4th place on damage. When it came to kills, though, it was the T-57 Heavy who did the best. He got 4 kills in that game. 3 kills went to the Object 704 and 2 kills went to the Foch 155. Everyone else either ended up with just 1 kill or nothing at all. In fact, Oksydor got no kills, but that actually helped him because he was the only one who actually got a medal, and it was Confederate, and that's because he kept on hitting new enemy tanks, which increased the score that he actually had in the end. And when it came to base XP, we can see that he's again in the highest percentile, because the A Phase 1 managed 1072. He was the only one to go over 1000. The E75 917, the T57 Heavy 912, and then we got Oksydor with 901. So 4th when it came to base XP as well. He fired 15 rounds in that game, got 6 direct hits on the enemy, 18 splashes, damage of 3,171 hit points, of which all of it more than 300 meters. He damaged 7 of the enemy, didn't get any kills, but he did get 3,188 hit points of stun assist off 16 stuns. Now, he earned 68,204 credits for the battle on a premium account, and after ammunition, resupply and consumables took away 28,224 credits profit, and 5 bonds for this being a tier 10, 1,351 XP, 5,408 for mission completion, and 6,759 altogether. So yes, we're looking at that figure and we're saying, well, you know, considering he actually did 3,171 hit points of damage, and he also got 3,188, his combined damage overall was over 6,000, yet he only came out with a win 8 out of that one. If we look at it, let's go back to the page, of 1,351. Not that much. It is fairly good when you think about the fact that he was actually 4th on XP, but I'm afraid he didn't score as well. Remember, he is a tier 10, so he can't get extra for hitting a higher tier opponent because he is at the top tier you can get. But again, I think actually that he didn't score as well in this one, mainly because they expected they would give more XP for getting more hits on the enemy tanks, which other tankers would then take advantage of. Normally you get those runaway games where you score something like 4,000 or 5,000 XP, 4 or 5,000 damage from stun assist, and those are the ones where you get the ace tanker because you're allowing somebody else, you're benefiting from their work as well as your own. So the first game is a victory and a reasonable amount of win 8, but not a great one. Let's have a look at the second battle. The second replay is on the Airfield map and we're on the west spawn. Okay. It appears that Oksydor's not moving away for this one. I think he's just going to sit at the back. Now, as you know, Oksydor streams on Twitch, and that means that you can generally catch him most evenings on Twitch TV. I'll leave a link to his Twitch page. All of these videos actually came from his Twitch stream. Okay, we've got an enemy coming down the south end. T54. Can you get around in? Yes, rounds out. Oh, yeah, he actually got a hit for that one. 250, but he's decided to move to avoid counter battery. You can see that he's all alone on this one, so if the enemy does try to counter battery, it'll only be one of them doing it. Okay, he's going for the Bosch. Rounds out straight away. And he gets a direct hit on him as well. Moves forwards to avoid the counter battery. The standard reload, 30.68 seconds. And I think we can see he's got something like 25 seconds for his reload, Oksydor. Lining up a shot. Oh, the guy pulled back quick. Oh, but he's still got the hits. 24.1 actually, so actually did a bit better on reducing that than I thought. But that was definitely a direct hit on the Star 2 for 320. Star 2s do have fairly weak side armour. Okay, he's got two tanks together here, a 60 TP and a Kampfpanzer. And he got both of them. Look at that. The Fumpsieg actually took rounds, or took damage from the direct hit, but the stun actually extended to the 60 TP and he took some stun assist damage. Okay, we're ready to go again. This time round it's going to be the A phase 1. Rounds out straight away. And another direct hit for 323. He's not going to be happy about that one. And yes, he got some stun assist when the A phase 1 was taken out. So it was a good solid hit. And it's taken out a heavy tank. Don't think we need to worry about the south at the moment. We've got enemy tanks down there. Now this game is a tier 8 game. As you've probably seen that already. Mixture of tier 8s, tier 9s and of course tier 10s. Unfortunately, nothing from that. Okay, this is where he can do some real heavy damage on that E75 if he gets him in the right position. But that 60 TP is worthy of a shot as well. I wonder if he'll try to go around the corner. Well, he might be less inclined to do so now. He's got splash. He might realise that there is some danger. Now, the enemy are pushing on Temple Mount. That's why they call this area, because of course it has all those Greek columns that look like a Greek temple. And of course that does look like a temple. Oh, good shot! He managed to arc that one over the top of the hill, but straight down into the enemy tank on the other side. And took the 252U for 167. Okay, the 60 TP's changed position, but that Bosch, the same one he's hit before, has come down now, so he's a lot more vulnerable. Rounds out straight away, and he's out the game. So it's his first kill of the game. Probably won't be his last though. 60 TP's feeling a bit vulnerable now, and that's why he's sought cover behind that rock for the moment. We're 3 up on the enemy, so it is looking good for us. Now, is he going to put a round in? He does decide to put a round in, and the 60 TP did come back, and he got stunned, and he's been hit since, so that's a bit more. He's now got 2,000, just under 2,000 actual damage, and about the same on stun assist, well, slightly lower. Now, that SU-130 PM, he can definitely do a lot of damage to that guy because he's very thin armor. And that guy is angling to try and get a shot at one of our guys at this moment. So if we could put a round near him, that would certainly make it very difficult for him to shoot at our guys. Rounds out. Looks good.
That was close.
It did splash him for 220. I'm hoping it stunned him enough as well. We did see some scenery damage. There's only 4 left on the enemy now, and yep, one of them's changed position. Their Arty are changing position as well. We're going to the Star 2, the same one we've hit before. Unfortunately, the shell fell short, so we didn't get anything off that. The SU-130 PM, and the other one is the Charioteer. And of course, their Arty, the Object 261's right down in the south. And there goes the SU-130 PM, which means the Charioteer is probably up this end, down in the south. And we're looking in this general area. The Object 261 is still in that little corner, but we're hoping we might get a shot at the Charioteer before he goes out of the game. The TVP might decide to go around the corner instead and try and get the Object 261. There he is. Oh, it's the Charioteer was in the corner as well. And we've stunned the Charioteer. And the Charioteer is taking damage. In fact, he took a lot of ram damage there from our Centurion. And the Object 261 decided to go over the cliff edge. And the CS-63-53 had other minds. In fact, actually, he's ammo-racked him. And that's the end of the game. Here's the end of battle results of the second game. And this one was an ace tanker. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 8 in this one. As well as getting a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team, just like in the previous game. But this time round, the win rate was lower, much lower, but he did get less damage, so that's probably the reason why. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see the highest damage in this game was the Centurion 5-1. He got a massive amount of damage right at the end of the game by taking a ramming go at that charioteer on the enemy team. And took away most of his hit points in that one fell swoop. So that was 3,106 hit points. 2,980 went to the TVP T5051, and the third highest damage was that SU-130PM. 2,649 went to him, and we can see that Oksydor managed 2,241 in this one. So yes, less than 3,000 on the previous game. He didn't quite score as much. But when it came to kills, we're looking at 4 kills of the TVP, 3 kills of the CS-53, and I think he blocked the barrel of the Object 261, and when the 261 decided to fire, it blew him up with an ammo rack, and 2 kills went to the G-Saw as well. Oksydor only got the 1 kill out of that game, and that was the Foch 155. When it came to base XP, yep, we've got the Centurion getting the tops one here in 1,317. I think he was putting that extra effort in, and that's why he got so much damage. 979 went to Oksydor, and that's because he gets some stun assist as well, even though he only got less damage than the last game. And the third highest went to the SU-130PM on his own team with 900. Oksydor fired only 13 rounds, so still had 7 rounds left in the magazine. He got got 7 direct hits on the enemy, but no penetrations in that one. He also got 13 splashes as well. 2,241 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 1, so there's an 8 difference there, and that's where he got the Confederate. 2,678 hit points of stun assist off 12 stuns. Now, if you remember in the previous game, he got over 3,000 stun and 3,000 actual damage. In this game, he got an ace tanker, but he got 2,200 damage and 2,600 stun. Now, isn't that unusual? That's something he highlighted to me. He said, that's very odd. That shouldn't have happened. It was a tier 8 game, so he was hitting lower tier opponents, but he was actually getting more XP overall and a higher position overall. Well, he didn't get over 1,000 base, but if we go back to there, you can see he was very high, 979. And if I go back and we'll have a look at the results, this is the results of the previous game, and you can see it was only 901. This was a tier 10 and tier 9 game, and yet in the subsequent one, he actually gets more XP of hitting tier 8 opponents. Very, very odd, especially when he got less damage, because if I go back again, you can see he got 3,000 damage on that one, and you can see 3,000 stun assists. So very, very odd that in the follow-up game he gets an ace tanker because he actually got less damage. Strange, isn't it? Yes, I think so. But there again, I suppose it depends on which targets you actually hit and which ones you do damage to. Sometimes if you do most of your damage to tier 10s, you're much more likely to get a higher result than if you do most of your damage to tier 9s in the end. So let's have a look at the detail report on this game. And we've done that already. So, okay. When it came to credits, 55,355 credits for the battle. And after resupply of ammunition and consumables, 19,615 credits profit, 7 bonds for it being tier 10, 1,468 XP, 5,876 from mission completion, 7,344 experience points altogether. So that's the end of the second battle, and again, it's another ace. It's another win. but an ace tanker when technically it should have been just the first, considering what the first one was. Anyway, I'll leave that little conundrum to you and we'll go into the third battle. The last battle is on the Studzianki map, which is due for a revision when the next update comes in. Now this game is tier 10, tier 9, just like the first battle we saw in these replays on Sand River. So we're hoping we are going to get another ace tanker out of it. Okay, first target's turned up. It's a Wizzy 132A. Lining up the top, rounds out, and... How did that happen? Let's see that one again, because he just wiped out an enemy 132A with just one shot. What happened? Well, we're going to have a look, and we'll stay on the target. And instead of actually moving away, he lightened. Oh, it looks like the 132A took a hit just before Oksydor's round arrived. We haven't seen the wreck of it appear yet, but he's definitely gone. There he is. So that poor Wizzy 132, well, I say poor, but he was on the enemy team and he was spotting. He got wiped out. Oh dear. First kill of the game. Of course, that is going to make it very difficult for Oksydor to get a Confederate. Oh, but he just hit another one, and this time round it was an EBR 90. Oh, perfectly timed shot ahead of the EBR's path, and he just drove straight into it. He's lost virtually all of his hit points. He took a penetrating shot for 775 hit points off one round. A low roll, admittedly, and he fires in another one, and he's killed him. Oh dear. What a pity to the EBR, I guess. The guy's back in the garage, and oops, went straight past our M53, M55. So he's got his second kill of the game. He's got 2/3 of the kills on our team already. Now, it's not unknown for Arty to get pools medals. It has happened. We've got a playlist on our YouTube channel showing the Arty that have actually got pools medals, and you'd be surprised at some of the ones that have. Rounds out in the Hesh barn. Oh, another hit and another penetrating shot. 679 hit points. It's another low roll, but it definitely went through the armor, and he's got a pen.
Moving in to support you.
Okay, M48 pattern seen down in the south. We'll see if we can put a round near him. He's sitting there. Didn't get anything off that. Oh, we got some track damage. So the shell was eaten by the tracks on the M48.
Moving to cover your flank. I appreciate it.
At least the M48 pattern died soon afterwards. Okay, Hesh barn is wounded bird. Let's put it out of its misery. And he gets a direct hit and wipes out the Hesh barn. Oksydor's on form today. I think he's got his eye in. That's how he's getting these shots. Our EBR is in a bit of a difficult position now because he's being chased out of that spot by the Viz 55. If he doesn't move, he's more likely going to get hit by enemy Arty. Yes, and I predicted that, didn't I? But that's a direct hit as well. Only 73 hit points, but we got some assist. And look at the amount of shell fire that's going in on that particular area. The Viz 55 is not going to last very long. And I think the EBR wants a slice of him. Oh, he's doing ring around the roses. Rounds out. This could be fun. Well, it stuns him, so we're going to get something out of it if the EBR does get damage. And he did. And the Viz 55 is no more. So error 404 not found. EBR 90 just got a kill. Okay, he's almost loaded again. Looking at the E75, it's a very difficult shot though. I'm not sure I would actually try that one, but he did get it to the gap. He knocked over some of the walls. I think all he did is get some stun assist off it though in the end. A lot of stun assist though. 1,116 stun assist. So now he's looking at just under 2,000 actual damage and over 2,000 stun assist. Another Heshbarn's turned up. He's dialing in. Rounds out already. And he got some splash off that one. He's changing position to get closer to the enemy. There's only 4 left. Oh, why did he do that? He just knocked the tree down though. There are 2 Arty left on the enemy team. It's a 261 and an FB3805. He's kind of advertised where he is, so he's inviting counter battery, but oh, we found the Leopard prototype. Firing in, fires all straight away, and he gets a kill, but it's only 15 hit points. One of the Arty's been spotted, and a Progetto. The FB3805 is no more. And there's the 261, and he was stunned. Oh, and he's just blown up. The E50's going in for the Progetto. Rounds out. When he gets the stun, at the very least there's something. And the Progetto is the last enemy tank, so this will be the end of the game. And he got all the stun assist as well, so a massive amount of stun assist off this game. Much more Oksydor's normal score, 3,800. Here's the end of battle results, and that was another ace tanker game for Oksydor in the Object 261. Once he gets into the swing of it, it's fairly easy for him to keep bashing out those ace tankers. He just needs to get into sync, so to speak, with his mojo. I think I'm overcomplicating it, but I know the feeling myself. Once you get into the swing, you know how to do it. Just keep repeating the method and it works every time. He got a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills in that one. He did get 4 exactly. He got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 11, but he didn't get any other medals. And the main reason he didn't get any other medals, unfortunately, is the fact that he killed a lot of the enemy tanks he was firing at. 2 of them right at the start of the game. And so, yes, it was a bit difficult for him to get a Confederate out of this one when you're killing so many enemy tanks. His win rate was 2,461. And again, this is Unicum standard, not Super Unicum standard. But this was worthy of an ace tanker, mainly down to the amount of stun assist he got off the end of the battle. Let's have a look at team score. Well, the highest damage in this game went to the enemy Progetto right at the end of the game. That guy got 4,835 hit points. The second highest damage actually went to the Gorilla on our team with 4,261. He picked up a tank sniper. The Progetto didn't get a high caliber because it wasn't 20% of the enemy hit pool, so that's why he hasn't got one. And the third highest damage went to the 114 SP2 with 2,450. And we can see that Oksydor got 2,389, so he wasn't that far away from the score that the 114 SP2 managed, but he wouldn't have been anywhere near the other guys who were racking it up at a phenomenal rate. But remember, they were racking up actual damage, whereas Oksydor was racking up damage and stun assist, so he was actually combined damage is much, much better. If we look at the number of kills, we can see Oksydor got the top score on that one, 4 kills to him, 3 kills to the enemy Progetto 65, 2 kills went to the Gorilla 15, the 114 SP2, the E50, and the Centurion 7-1, and all of those guys survived in the battle. And when it came to base XP, he managed to get the highest one of that, 1,107 base, the only player to get over 1,000. 889 went to the E50, 839 went to the Batchat 25-ton AP. So a very good result out of that one, mainly down to the fact that he got so much stun assist. Let's have a look at the detail. He fired 12 rounds, so even less rounds than previous games. He still had 8 rounds left at the end of this game. He got 6 direct hits on the enemy, and 2 of them were penetrations. In fact, it seems that he was actually scoring some very nice penetrations on the enemy. One of those, I believe, was the EBR. Of course, he hit that guy as he was pulling away from the cops. And he also hit the Hesh barn, and that round went right through the turret. Let's have a look. There's the pen, 799 hit points off the Hesh barn. The EBR 90, 863 off that guy. So yes, unfortunate for the EBR, but then we won't shed a tear because those things normally kill us, and therefore we're quite happy to see them depart the battle early. He also got 10 splashes as well, sorry. 2,389 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 4, so no Confederate. 351 hit points of track damage, and 3,835 hit points of stun assist off 8 stuns. So a really good score when it came to the assistance damage, on top of a really decent score when it came to actual damage, and that's why he ended up with an ace tanker out of this one and came out so well on base XP. 67,853 credits for the battle, and after resupply of ammunition and consumables came away with 34,093 credits profit. 7 bonds for this being tier 10, 1,660 XP, no multipliers because he'd already had a win, in fact several wins during that evening, and so that's all he managed to take away at the end. But I think you can see there is a bit of an anomaly here, because in this game he did actually come up against tier 9s and tier 10s, but he did so much better on base XP because he was actually doing a huge amount of stun assist, which shows that stun assist is vitally important for Arty players, and that's why you need to have shells that stun, because that stun assist is what provides you with ace tankers, it provides you with extra XP, and of course it also helps your teammates, because once the enemy's stunned, they can take advantage of the enemy tanks, and then of course you get the benefit out of what they do. So yes, some very different results with both the Studzianki, the Airfield, and the Sand River maps. So thanks very much to Oksydor for sending in these replays so we could actually examine them and see the differences and the nuances of why we need stun to enable us to get this sort of result. If you enjoyed these replays, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.